Welcome back to another episode of Sound Pals Go to the Movies. Today I'll be reviewing the movie The Luckiest Man in America. So just a fair warning, there's going to be spoilers up ahead, so you've been warned. May 1984, an unemployed ice cream truck driver steps onto the game show Press Your Luck, harboring a secret, the key to endless money. But his winning streak is threatened when the bewildered executives uncover his real motives. So let's begin with my first pro. We have a real, well, somewhat real story that actually did air on TV. So we all like game shows like The Price is Right, Let's Make a Deal, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, and so on. But in the early days of TV, that was most of what entertainment was on TV, which was game shows and variety shows. Here we see a contestant go on and start winning and winning and winning. So the executives think he is cheating. But how? They ask themselves. Well, the truth was he technically wasn't, because he found a loophole in the game, or should I say the board, and how it worked. It only had a few variation of patterns, so he just remembered them, like anybody would learning a long number or a code. But we see both parties and how nervous they are, because this had never happened before. And also the contestant Michael and his family dynamic is somewhat involved in the movie. And we all want him to succeed because we think he's going from rag to riches. But then we also see the executives and their point of view and how badly they want to stop him from winning. So I think that's a good premise for a movie. Next pro, we have big names in this film like Paul Walker Hauser, Walton Goggins, Shamir Anderson, Macy Williams, Johnny Knoxville, and all these were in the film, so it gave it a star power boost. Some of them were there the whole time for the ride, and others just did a cameo. But nonetheless, we have some names in this film. Next pro, really liked how they kept the sets, wardrobe, and the retro feel of that time, especially in the opening credits. It felt like a 1980s TV game show with colors and patterns from that era. I really liked seeing behind the scenes people walking in their old headsets and the control rooms and control boards and how they were, and like, wow, that was a thing. And now it's still the same, but smaller, faster, and with more people. And I really felt that they actually kept it real. Also, if you have seen the episode of this game with the contestant on YouTube or the documentary, you will see some scenes that were in the film and how Paul, who played Michael, copies the movement exactly like the real Michael. And I believe that he did watch the documentary and the episode to basically get it down. Now let's move on to my cons. So the real story of Michael Larson goes deeper than just the Press Your Luck scandal. So I wondered why they began there and not a bit sooner in his life. If it just wanted to focus on Press Your Luck, I would counter with, okay, then why did you include Chuck investigating him and bringing up other scandals, like uncovering his previous scheme that he did? I mean, he had done other schemes in the past. Why not include them as well? One of them was he opened a fake business under a relative's name just to fire himself so he could collect unemployment benefits. They did include some of the schemes in the film, like when he was taking the picture with the college kids and told them about opening bank accounts, cashing out, and closing the accounts. That's one of Michael's schemes that he'd used to do under fake names and got away with them until they were after him or started investigating. As for the family line, he was married 3 times to 3 different women and had 3 different kids. So just focusing on one and not all is a little bit of a cop-out, I feel. But we were warned at the beginning of the film with that notice that some things were changed to make this a more dramatic story. I would have just liked to have seen when he left the show with the money and the CBS executives saying, we are never going to air this episode more than once. Then also Michael later fleeing the law again for a scheme that he had done and lived the rest of his life in hiding, and later dying of cancer in Florida. But I guess that wouldn't really fit the title, The Luckiest Man in America, now would it? And I see what they wanted to do, to root for the underdog, the guy who went from rag to riches. So my grade for this film is going to be a 5.5 out of 10. The story is based on a true event, and also the contestant had a bad history of schemes, but I will give him that what he did was not illegal, and he did not cheat. He actually was clever and found a loophole, and CBS admitted it. If not, they wouldn't have paid him. If he wanted, he could have kept on winning and given CBS executives in the film what they wanted, a real rags to riches story, the man who beats the system. But then he ended short. As for the movie as a whole, I would say skip it and just watch the documentary from 2003, Big Bucks, Press Your Luck scandal, which aired on the Game Show Network. It is a better watch, but also watch some of the YouTube videos on Michael's backstory and find out who the guy really was. So that does it for this review of The Luckiest Man in America. Please join us next time when we're going to review Sinners.
Stay. It's you?
Of course it's me. Open the door.
That ain't your brother.
Please like, comment, and subscribe. You can find our social media links below. And like always, keep watching movies.